Today, we're going to dig into a really interesting paradox. What if being absolutely brilliant at your job is the very thing that puts your entire company at risk? It sounds crazy, right? I mean, we're all taught that excellence is the goal. But what happens when that same excellence, that same perfection, actually blinds you to what's coming next? Let's dive in. So, to really get this, let's meet our main character, Sunil Reddy. He's a chief operating officer, and when I say he's a master at what he does, I mean he runs a massive, incredibly complex system with the precision of a Swiss watch. He's the best. To give you an idea, his on-time delivery rate across millions of different retail outlets is nearly 99%. That's not just good, that is absolutely world-class execution. And get this, his quality rejection rate? It's practically zero. So Sunil is a hero of efficiency, no question. He has perfected the system they have right now. But that leads to the big, scary question. What happens when that perfect system is no longer what the market actually wants? And that question brings us to our first big idea. Sunil, our hero of efficiency, is about to become a prisoner of his own success. See, a new threat just pops up on the horizon: quick commerce. All of a sudden, customers want their stuff in 30 minutes, not 3 to 7 days. This new idea is championed by the company's chief strategy officer, Aditi Sharma, and it doesn't just challenge Sunil's system, it makes it look like a dinosaur. And right away, this creates a massive conflict. Now, what's so important to understand here is that nobody is wrong. Sunil is very rightly focused on protecting the part of the business that's profitable and efficient today. And Aditi is also rightly focused on adapting so the company even has a future. They both want what's best, but they're pulling in completely opposite directions. So if both of them have a really good point, why is this so difficult to solve? Well, that question leads us straight into something called the innovation paradox. You see, at the heart of this whole problem is a sneaky little thing called the success trap. All of the company's processes, its culture, its metrics, everything is perfectly tuned for the old way of doing business. And that optimization, which used to be their greatest strength, has now become a rigid cage that stops any real change from happening. So, they try to compromise. Of course they do. They create a special task force to innovate on the side. But it completely stalls out. Why? Because the organization's own immune system attacks the new idea. Every single department, finance, sales, you name it, they all raise legitimate, smart concerns that just slow the project down until it stops. The system is just doing its job, protecting the core, and it does that job perfectly by killing the innovation. It really looks like they've hit a dead end, stuck between protecting today and building tomorrow. But then the CEO steps in and completely reframes the problem, helping them escape this false choice. The CEO, Vikram Malhotra, he just cuts through the noise. He says, look, this isn't about efficiency or innovation. The real question is, how do we do both at the same time? And that simple shift in perspective, it changes everything. The goal is no longer about choosing one, it's about building a system that can do both. And this brings us to the core solution: organizational ambidexterity. It's kind of a fancy term, but the idea is actually super powerful. It just means a company needs to be good with both hands. One hand is busy mastering the present, exploiting what works right now for profit. And the other hand is building the future, exploring new ideas to stay in the game. Okay, but how do you actually make a company ambidextrous? Well, the answer is to build what's called a dual operating system. Think about it like this. You keep the core business, the part Sunil runs, laser-focused on efficiency and profit. Its rules are all about minimizing risk. But at the same time, you create the edge, a totally separate system just for exploration. Its goal isn't profit, it's learning. Its metrics aren't about saving money, they're about speed and new insights. It has permission to experiment, to be messy, and even to fail, as long as it learns something important. Now, making this actually work came down to 5 really specific actions. First, they gave each system its own metrics. Second, they protected the resources for the new team, putting a fence around its budget. Third and fourth were all about the culture, creating faster ways to make decisions and making it safe for people to try things and fail. And finally, and this is key, they built bridge rules to make sure the lessons learned on the exploration side could find their way back into the main business. So what happened? With this new system in place, the company didn't just launch one new project. No, it built something way more valuable, a permanent capacity for change. And I mean, just look at the difference on this timeline. The pilot that was stuck for months, it launched in just a few weeks under the new exploration system. And within a year, it was so successful that it graduated and got integrated back into the core business, now run by a very enthusiastic Sunil. The dual system actually worked. Ultimately, the real win here wasn't just solving one problem. It was about becoming a truly adaptive organization. Now, experimentation happens all the time. Decisions about change are made faster. Learning is shared across the company, and the organization actually measures and values adaptability, not just short-term performance. So the big takeaway from all this is pretty simple. So many organizations are trying to innovate using an operating system that was only designed for efficiency. It's like trying to fly a plane using a car's instruction manual. It's just not going to work. Which leads us to a final question for you to chew on. Your organization is running on one operating system right now. Does it maybe need two?